So the launch of the International Financial Reporting Standards 1 and 2 for Public Companies event held at the Nigerian Exchange earlier today was concluded with some remarks before the day's closing gong.
Today, it's my great pleasure to say that Nigeria and the Nigerian Stock Exchange, led by the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, is leading among global leaders, and in fact was the first to step up and say that we're going to build the capacity of our local preparers to ensure that there is preparedness to provide decision-useful information to global capital markets and to investors, and ensure that capitals flow towards more sustainably and climate-ready businesses on the continent. And so I actually just want to applaud NGX, who is our host here today, and right next to me, the Executive Secretary of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, without whom the International Sustainability Standards Board would not be standing here today. I also want to thank the other countries that are present, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Ghana, and I want to say that even though today is a momentous day and very important, the journey begins today. It's day zero. But it's not just day zero for Nigeria, it's day zero for the entire world. And Nigeria is more prepared than many other countries for this journey. And we are very optimistic that working together with the Adoption Readiness Working Group, which is a cross-section of regulators, preparers, accounting bodies, most importantly, aligning everyone around one truly global baseline, one set of sustainability standards that is the baseline for all others, not many. It will actually simplify and enable more cost-effective, less burdensome, and really standards and data and reports that will direct and support investors to make decision-useful information for better decisions that will be beneficial to Nigeria and the African continent. Thank you very much.
On what is starting today, we need to appreciate. The world is at the edge of a cliff, and accountants are ready to save the world, led by what we're seeing today in terms of reporting on sustainability. The world is heading to a very dangerous place, and we need to save the world, and accountants are doing that. If we run with this, that is really the way to address the problem that the world is facing, that's just been moving towards plunging down the cliff. We need to report, and that will change behavior. So I'm so proud of our Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria and ISSB and everybody that has come together to make this happen, because we need to change behavior, otherwise we'll have nothing left. I thank you for being part of this. I thank you for all the work you've done. Please, let's do it together. Everybody has a role to play. We have one world, not two worlds. We have one world, and we need to make it stay safe. Thank you.
A lot has been said. So we, on our part, as standard promoters, gate watchers, will keep working with all the relevant stakeholders, FRCN, ISSB, just to enhance the knowledge in this field. Bring to the fore better the opportunities that are inherent, and just make sure that we just continue staying, keeping, and being ahead of being relevant in the global financial space. Thank you very much, and good to see you.
Sustainability disclosure. The market is basically a place where you need to have loads of disclosure, because you're coming to get capital. So the capital market is a market where you buy capital. And I think one of the things that we keep emphasizing in regulating the market is that the folks that are the providers of capital need to have information about you. Now, the thing is that we've been given information for a very long time about financial issues that concern the company, about the risks that relate to financing, and some other risks. What the standards are telling us is that there are certain risks that go to the bottom of the company. There are certain risks that go to the survival of the company. And the ISSB standards are seeking to provide a global baseline for recording these risks, for recording these issues. Now, I refer to them as risks, but anybody that has been in elementary risk management also understands that risks can actually be turned into opportunities. So if, for example, you're a beverage company, your most important component is water. And therefore, if water sources are drying up across the world, people that are providing capital to you need to understand what you're doing to mitigate the risk that you're not going to have that important ingredient for your products anymore. That is as simple as what it is. And it's basically looking through your business to find out those things that are fundamental to your business and can be the difference between whether you survive or you don't survive, and informing the providers of capital and indeed everyone that is interested in your business, because we know it's not only the providers of capital, stakeholders, there are all sorts of other stakeholders interested in your business. Being able to say to them, we've identified those things and this is what we're doing. In the case of that beverage company, it may be that we're doing R&D where we don't need as much water, and so that risk is not going to materialize. It may be we're providing sustainable sources of water, looking into how we ensure that water resources are sustained. But you're doing something and it's attached to your financial bottom line. So that's it in a very short, very briefly, very, very important to the market, just like any other type of disclosure is. And really what will help the market to grow, because you have that you have that transparency, you have that integrity, and people know what you're doing in your business. I think the last thing is that if we don't take this seriously, the fact remains that at some point the sources of capital will dry up. And I think if we're listening to the panel, if you listen very carefully to the investor as to the things that investors are looking at, and if you listen to Admire when he was talking about the amount of funding that is driven and interested in sustainability and issues around sustainability, it's not something that we can leave on the table. And that's why I'm very excited to be collaborating as CEO of NGX Redco with the ISSB, collaborating with the FRC on this very, very, I don't want to use the word momentous again, but really it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor and privilege for us to be given the chance to do the closing of today's trading. To commemorate the launching of the first two sustainability standards that have been developed by the International Sustainability Standards Board. Nigeria, it's the first country in Africa to be selected and given the honor to do this launching alongside with 6 other countries around the globe. So I think I will say a big congratulations to all of us, to Nigeria. And one of the key message or takeaways is that with the launching of these standards, and if we implement them properly, there should be private capital flows into the country. Globally now there are over $2.something trillion in green finance waiting to be deployed. And we feel that it's the right step for us to launch these standards in Nigeria, and hopefully with the other stakeholders, we'll make sure that we get it right in terms of implementation so that those private capital flows can come to our country. Once again, congratulations, Nigeria, and thank you so much for being part of it.
And that's a new FRS 1 and 2 formally launched today, both in London and on the Nigerian exchange.